For years, Hollywood didn't reject SB19, it simply didn't know where to place them. Too global to be boxed, too disciplined to dismiss, too consistent to ignore. But in 2025, that hesitation shifted. This wasn't a viral surge or a trending moment. It was something quieter and far more decisive. Industry attention, closed-door conversations, invitations to stages that don't gamble on experiments. Hollywood doesn't chase talent. It waits until talent proves it can withstand pressure, and SB19 just did. Today, we break down why Hollywood is finally paying attention and why this shift can't be reversed. Like, subscribe, and stay with us. This story runs deeper than it looks. Hollywood has never been moved by raw talent alone, especially when it comes from outside the West. History shows a clear pattern. Non-Western acts are watched from a distance until they demonstrate something beyond skill, structural inevitability. Latin pop wasn't embraced because it sounded good. It was embraced when touring power, crossover demand, and market stability made overlooking it impossible. K-pop followed the same trajectory. Years of excellence mattered little until infrastructure, training systems, fandom economics, and reliable global touring made success repeatable. Hollywood isn't designed to reward artistry first, it rewards reduced risk. Executives don't ask, "Is this good?" They ask, "Does this still hold if attention moves on?" That's why viral moments rarely translate into long-term trust. Virality spikes, systems endure. This is the framework through which SB19 must be viewed. The attention they're receiving in 2025 isn't discovery, it's recognition. Their talent didn't appear overnight. They reached the point where consistency, audience loyalty, and professional discipline aligned into something Hollywood understands as scalable. The industry didn't wake up, it calculated. SB19 now occupies the position every globally successful non-Western act eventually reaches, beyond novelty, beyond skepticism, and squarely inside inevitability, where ignoring them becomes a strategic error. This isn't luck, it's pattern recognition unfolding exactly as it always does. What makes 2025 significant for SB19 isn't noise, but silence. Breakout years are loud, convergence years are quiet, and 2025 was the latter. There was no single viral eruption, no forced Western push, no aggressive visibility campaign. Instead, SB19 began appearing where cameras rarely linger: invite-only rooms, controlled settings, industry-filtered stages, spaces where potential is assessed, not celebrated. This was the year overexposure stopped being necessary. Strategic restraint replaced constant output. Visibility became selective, and that shift signaled confidence. In entertainment, artists who over-explain reveal uncertainty. Those who narrow access reveal leverage. Insiders noticed first, because they always do. They don't chase trends, they track patterns. And what they saw was consistency under pressure and reliability in live performance. They saw professionalism that held firm as the stakes rose. By the time the public sensed momentum, the industry had already revised its internal verdict. Every global act reaches a moment when Hollywood stops asking, "Who are you?" and starts asking, "How far can this go?" That question isn't driven by hype, it's driven by trust. In 2025, SB19 crossed that line quietly, intentionally, and without spectacle, and that's exactly why it matters. Hollywood has a long-standing skepticism toward artists built online, and for good reason. Digital popularity often collapses under real-world pressure. That's why live performance remains the final filter. Not choreography, not view counts, but reliability. Can an act deliver the same standard on the 50th show as the first? Can they command a stage when conditions shift, sound falters, or expectations surge? Elite stages don't test talent, they test durability. SB19 had passed that test long before 2025, but this was the year it became impossible to ignore. Their rehearsal discipline mirrors Western touring systems: repetition over improvisation, precision over spontaneity. Every movement is built to endure fatigue. Every vocal choice prioritizes consistency over spectacle. This isn't about impressing fans, it's about preserving performance integrity. Hollywood pays attention because volatility is costly. One weak set can undo years of trust. That's why elite festivals, award stages, and international bookings favor acts that remain emotionally and technically steady. SB19 doesn't perform like an internet group chasing moments. They perform like professionals protecting a brand. In this ecosystem, one flawless performance under pressure outweighs years of online hype. Views can be manufactured. Discipline cannot. SB19 proved they don't crack when stakes rise, and Hollywood noticed, because trust earned on stage moves faster than any algorithm. Viral acts excite the internet. Bankable acts excite Hollywood. The two are rarely the same. Virality spikes and fades because attention isn't commitment. Hollywood isn't built on clicks, it's built on conversion. The question is never how many watched, it's how many showed up, paid, and came back.
This is where SB19 subtly pulls ahead. Streaming numbers rise and fall. Touring strength holds. Ticket buyers show intent, not passing interest. SB19's audience doesn't just watch, they commit. They plan trips, show up, and come back. That kind of behavior signals stability, and stability is the most valuable asset in entertainment economics. Hollywood knows lasting revenue comes from repeatable demand, not short-lived spikes. A fan base that supports multiple tour legs, fills venues, and responds across regions lowers financial risk. That's why touring power consistently carries more weight than streaming totals in executive decisions. SB19's fan base isn't noise, it's organized support. It expands city to city, endures long gaps, and answers higher price points. That isn't hype behavior, that's market behavior. To Hollywood, SB19 represents something rare, predictable revenue. And in an industry built on uncertainty, predictability isn't dull, it's strength. In Hollywood, unpredictability is costly. Controversy, personal drama, or public collapse can turn even elite talent into a liability. Deals stall, tours fall apart, and brand partnerships disappear. Hollywood doesn't invest in excitement, it invests in dependability. It invests in predictability, in artists whose reliability converts directly into financial confidence. This is where SB19 stands out. Their public image is deliberately professional without feeling manufactured. There are no viral controversies, no impulsive missteps, no erratic online behavior that could fracture perception. Each member projects composure, consistency, and focus, signaling an act that performs under pressure without disrupting schedules or commitments. This goes beyond discipline. It functions as a strategic brand advantage. In a landscape where chaos is often mistaken for authenticity, restraint becomes a premium trait. Very few globally visible artists sustain growth, relevance, and public trust without personal drama. SB19 does. Their steady, composed presence communicates low risk with high upside. For Hollywood decision-makers, that clarity matters. It allows confidence in tours, collaborations, sponsorships, and long-term planning. In 2025, their image became as important as their stage performance. Hollywood doesn't pursue unpredictability, it protects itself from it. SB19's professionalism positions them not just as performers, but as a bankable, scalable, and globally dependable brand. Hollywood rarely invents new lanes. It identifies gaps where demand exists, but supply remains limited or unreliable, and waits for the right act to fill them. By 2025, K-pop's saturation in the West was unmistakable. Western executives already had audiences, playbooks, and commercial templates in place for Korean groups. But that dominance revealed a quiet gap, a non-Korean, highly disciplined, globally adaptable act rooted in Southeast Asia with genuine cultural fluency. SB19 stepped into that space without announcement. They are not an extension of K-pop, they function as a Southeast Asian blueprint, blending polished production, linguistic flexibility, and cross-cultural accessibility. Their music, performance standards, and professionalism signal collaboration and touring potential that feels organic rather than engineered. Hollywood understands that while K-pop opened the door, the next phase demands expandable systems, not replicas. SB19's ability to move across languages, media formats, and cultural contexts allows them to scale without sacrificing identity. They can enter markets where other acts might feel imported or misaligned.